Hi, this is Colin Sandy from Sandy Audiovisual, and I'm here in the kitchen today doing this unboxing. And I know some of you are like, dude, you got a studio. Why do you like doing these things in your pajamas or on an iPhone or in the kitchen? Well, you know what? Some of the best and most informative videos I've seen out there have been these impromptu videos that people make with their iPhone, and very informational. And the kitchen, if you are an amateur, is probably the best lit place in your home. So kitchen is always a great place to film a video because it has lots of light. And that's not necessarily by accident, but usually by your county code. For instance, in Prince George's County, Maryland, you have this light right here above the sink, which is mandatory. I guess they're worried about, I don't know, people cutting themselves at the sink or something. I'm not exactly sure what the history is behind that ordinance, but there's similar things from county to county, making your kitchen probably the best lit place in your home as well. So anyways, today we're looking at the 12 by 12 smart switch or smart router here from Blackmagic Design. You can see just opening the outer box packaging here. And the cool thing about this version, there are two 12 by 12s, right? That's of course 12 inputs in, 12 inputs out. But the difference with this model that I've really been waiting for with some anticipation is that it can switch cleanly. So here we have the Smart Videohub CleanSwitch 12 by 12 by Blackmagic Design. And if you've ever used these routers, you'll know that when you change from one input to the next, you can get this glitch, which is not a good thing to have if you're live or using this for iMag, right? Those switchers out there, say from a lovely French company that makes excellent switchers, but they're extremely expensive, that kind of does the same thing, usually outside of a lot of price ranges, especially if you're a smaller house of worship or a small production shop. Here you see this label, resync on every output, or on every input rather. That is what makes your clean switch, because everything's timed at the same time. It doesn't matter where in its sync sequence you switch, because they're all synced at the same time. So, you know, if you have I always use this analogy in my seminars. If you have a bunch of people marching along and they're all marching to a different drum, right? And you were to take a close-up picture of their feet hitting the pavement, they'd all hit at different times. Though if they're all marching to the beat of the same drummer, that foot would hit the pavement at the same time. So it wouldn't matter which soldier you switch to. That's exactly what this thing does. The resyncing times, or make sure every one of those feet hits the ground at the same time, and therefore gives you a clean and non-jerky picture. So here we have the Smart Videohub CleanSwitch 12 by 12. 12 inputs, 12 outputs, with a 6G SDI input capable BNC connector on each of those 12 inputs. So it can do SD, HD, and Ultra HD. As you can see, a little preview window here, a little jog wheel so you can go through different menu items, source, destination, clear, menu, video, and take, and of course your 1 through 12 input and output selection right there. So let's open this up. Oh, disaster! Ice everywhere! What are you gonna do? Okay. Okay, now if you didn't lose your lunch, here we have it. Ooh, okay, take a look at the business end here. So we see on the back, wait for this to focus up. Come on, you could do a little phone. Focus up. Okay, so we have your reference in. So if you're taking that common sync from a sync generator, there's a sync generator chip inside this module, so you don't have to do this. But if you want all your equipment, again, marching to the beat of the same drummer, you'll have a common sync generator, and you'd send that reference signal to this switch or here on this BNC connector, and you'd send it to each one of your cameras as well, or other video generating devices. So it has an Ethernet connector here for control, a USB for updates, and also an RS422 for control going over a RJ45, and the sticklers will say that's not what it's really called, but whatever. You know what I mean when I say by RJ45 jack. So we have here two banks of BNC connectors. The top ones are for output. The bottom ones are for input. There are no HDMI connectors either in or out on this unit. You'll see it's actively cooled. There's a little fan here on the side, and see the ventilation holes for them. And that's pretty much it. It's one rack unit. I'd say it's about 3 pounds. Possibly a little lighter. And there you have it. The next video will show how this thing performs. I expect it to work just swimmingly. And one thing to note, if you haven't seen my other videos that have the built-in power supply and Blackmagic Design devices, they do not come with power cables. And this is because under older designs they had those wall warts, and so they'd put the international connections with them in your kit. Here, of course, you'd have to get the country-specific cable for your unit. So it doesn't come with one, because they ship the same unit to every country. If you don't have one of these lying around, you can pick one up for, well, if you do eBay or one of those bulk sellers like Alibaba or whatever, for like $1. But if you're like me, you have dozens of them lying around from an old computer or what have you. And you know, it's low voltage equipment, so it doesn't really matter too much the gauge of what you what cable you use. I think this is just under 2 amps. So there you have it. Note, it does not come with a power cable. You will need to supply one. But there you have it. The Smart Videohub CleanSwitch 12x12 by Blackmagic Design.